Sister Spouse's Meri Earthy Colored's child more ruined than the others? Was Sister Spouse's star, Meri Earthy Colored's kid, Leon Brown, more ruined than different children? In the Sunday, January 19th episode, Meri uncovered all that she was liable for when it came to Leon. However, a few fans noticed that Leon was exceptionally requesting regarding what they needed to have. Thusly, did they wind up becoming ruined, with Meri yielding to their solicitations in general? Continue to peruse for additional subtleties. Meri Earthy Colored's child more ruined than the others? At the point when Leon Brown began taking a gander at universities, they realized that they needed to go to class in Utah. They missed it in the wake of leaving for Las Vegas and, at the time, was extremely put resources into the qualities and the congregation. It was imperative to return to that, yet the school was not modest, using any and all means. They had their sights set on Westminster School, which is a confidential college and, after help, in 2025, costs $26,000. That's what Leon clarified. On the off chance that they couldn't go there, they would forego school, yet Meri Brown wouldn't allow that happen. Of course, that was where they proceeded to move on from that point. However, before this, they required a vehicle to get to and from secondary school. They were driving Robin Earthy Colored's old vehicle, however, continually whined about what it endlessly didn't have. With each of the kids, they ought to have viewed themselves as fortunate to have a vehicle. As it ended up, Meri guaranteed her youngster had all they required and more, while as yet helping the remainder of the family. She was continuously getting the worst part of the deal as Kody Brown kept up with. She just had one kid, so for what reason did she want additional items? Presently, Sister Spouse's fans see an alternate side, yet they likewise keep thinking about whether she ruined her youngster. A Reddit string was begun to examine how horrendous Meri was dealt with, yet Leon likewise came up. Apparently Leon was exceptionally requesting and needed what they needed. In the event that they didn't get it, a fit of rage was tossed, and being Meri's lone kid, she surrendered. Getting what they needed. The greatest contention is that Meri Brown aided different children and the remainder of the family through the familial pot. Be that as it may, the individuals who headed off to college, went to state schools, or went to the Flying Corps or public watchmen. They likewise got grants, so their tutoring was moderately cheap, while Leon Brown needed an expensive tuition-based school. One Sister Spouse's fan had this to say. Yet Leon needed to go to a costly school, not a junior college like the others. Leo likewise needed another vehicle, not a pre-owned one, so there are two methods for checking it out. I recollect Leo continuously needing more and normally getting it. Different children were used to pre-warn stuff and being last since they had kin. That is an extreme take, since they were undeniably viewed as kin in this way. Assuming that Leon required pre-warn stuff, they might have effortlessly gotten them. Simultaneously, they needed a totally new life, and Meri obliged, regardless of what the expense. Might she at some point have said no? Indeed. Did she? No. Was it since it was her all in all? Reasonable, yet we won't ever be aware. Has for quite some time been known for her versatility and assurance to transcend the difficulties of her turbulent relational intricacies. As of late, Meri blew some people's minds, and started energetic discussion among fans, by sending off another web-based talk series provocatively named Pungent BTCH. This move gives off an impression of being a strong reaction to pundits and a statement of her proud uniqueness. Meri's intense rebranding. Meri reported her new Visit series on her web-based entertainment stages, complete with a photograph of herself holding an espresso cup embellished with the words Pungent BTCH. She prodded the undertaking as a space for true discussion, self-articulation, and a festival of life's pungent minutes. In her post, Meri composed. Now and again, you simply have to claim what your identity is, embrace your pungent side, and continue to push ahead. We should discuss life, examples, and in the middle between. This proud tone inspired an emotional response from fans who have watched Meri persevere through long periods of public investigation, familial pressure, and misfortune on sister spouses. A reaction to pundits? Meri's new pursuit comes following quite a while of being a polarizing figure on the show. Pundits have frequently blamed her for being challenging to coexist with, excessively guarded, or even a contributing element to the earthy-colored family's unwinding. Others have felt for her battles, especially her stressed relationship with Kody, who has straightforwardly reprimanded her and seemed to remove himself genuinely from their marriage. By beginning pungent BTCH, Meri is by all accounts assuming command over the story. The title alone proposes she's mindful of the names individuals have placed on her and is deciding to embrace them instead of bashful away. One fan remarked, "Meri hasn't arrived to satisfy anybody any longer. She's possessing her story and telling it her way." What's in store from pungent B*TCH? As per Meri, the Visit series will highlight authentic conversations about self-awareness, strengthening, and tracking down satisfaction in the midst of difficulties. She has alluded to handling themes like defeating affliction, defining limits, and seeking after bliss, even in capricious conditions. Fans are now guessing about whether Meri will address explicit episodes from her experience on sister spouses, like her duping embarrassment or the continuous pressure with Kody and Robin. While Meri hasn't unequivocally vowed to spill in the background mysteries, many are confident she'll give understanding into her side of the story. Fan responses. Responses to pungent BTCH * have been blended, with many fans hailing Meri's strength and freshly discovered certainty. One ally composed, "Really great for Meri. She's had to deal with a lot, and it's rousing to see her transforming the pessimism into something engaging." One more added, "Meri's forever been the substitute for the family's concerns. It's no time like the present." She began recounting her own story. Be that as it may, not every person is ready. Pundits contend that the talk series is simply one more way for Meri to divert fault and play the person in question. Meri's attempting to rebrand herself, yet it's difficult to fail to remember how she's dealt with others before, one watcher remarked. Assuming command over her account. For a really long time, Meri has battled to track down her place inside the earthy-colored family. Her union with Kody has been everything except non-existent, and her associations with different spouses have frequently been full of pressure. Notwithstanding this, Meri has reliably shown a readiness to cut out her own way, whether through her informal lodging business or her freshly discovered center around self-awareness. Pungent BTCH * addresses a defining moment for Meri. By embracing her fault-finder's words and changing them into a stage for strengthening, she's communicating something specific that she's not generally characterized by her past or by the assessments of others. The master plan. Meri's excursion on sister spouses has been a roller coaster of ups and downs, however her choice to send off pungent BTCH * exhibits that she's prepared to assume responsibility for her own story. Whether the talk series will be a triumph is not yet clear, yet one thing is clear, Meri Brown isn't withdrawing. For fans, this new pursuit offers an opportunity to see an alternate side of Meri, one that is unfiltered, unashamed, and savagely free. What's more, for Meri, it's a valuable chance to revamp her story in her own specific manner. Yet again Kody Brown, the disputable patriarch of sister spouses, has worked up warmed conversation among fans by asserting that his most memorable wife, Meri Brown, isn't qualified for an equivalent portion of the family's property. This disclosure has added one more layer to the complicated elements inside the earthy-colored family and reignited banter about property division. Kody made sense of his position that Meri shouldn't get an equivalent portion of family resources. As per him, the dispersion of property ought to mirror every spouse's commitments to the family and their ongoing contribution in its everyday working. Kody supposedly said, "Meri hasn't been a functioning piece of the family for quite a long time. She pursued decisions that separated herself, and presently she can't anticipate getting equivalent to every other person." This assertion seems to reference Meri's lesson job in the family, especially after her profound alienation from Kody and stressed associations with different spouses. The Coyote Pass discussion. One of the essential issues of dispute is Coyote Pass, the family's huge plot of land in Flagstaff, Arizona, bought determined to assemble homes for every one of the spouses. In spite of the arrangement, development presently can't seem to start, and strains over how the land ought to be isolated have just developed. Fans have noticed that Meri's plot has remained to a great extent immaculate, with some hypothesizing that Kody and Robin are impervious to her case. Meri herself has communicated disappointment, expressing that she contributed monetarily to the buy yet has seen little improvement or backing for her vision of building a home. Preference toward Robin? Pundits contend that Kody's legitimization is simply a method for inclining toward Robin, his fourth and apparently most loved spouse. Robin, who is lawfully hitched to Kody, has frequently been blamed by fans for cornering his time, assets, and consideration. One fan remarked, "It's undeniable Kody is rationalizing. He's simply safeguarding Robin's inclinations while driving Meri farther of the family." Others called attention to that while Meri may not be basically as effectively involved as different spouses, her monetary commitments, especially in the early long stretches of the family, were significant and ought not be ignored. Meri's reaction. Meri has generally stayed quiet on the particulars of Kody's cases, however she has insinuated feeling underestimated and barred. In a mysterious web-based entertainment post, Meri composed, "Decency isn't tied in with getting an equivalent offer, it's tied in with being treated with deference and trustworthiness." Fans have deciphered this as an unobtrusive hit at Kody's new comments and a sign that Meri might be equipping to stand firm. Fan responses. The disclosure has left fans separated. Some side with Kody, concurring that commitments and inclusion ought to factor into property division. On the off chance that Meri isn't living on the land or effectively partaking in the family, for what reason would it be advisable for her she get a similar offer as the others, one analyst contended. In any case, numerous others accept Kody's thinking is misguided and unreasonable. Meri was there all along. She helped fabricate this family and merits her reasonable portion, regardless of what their relationship resembles now, a fan countered. The master plan. This most recent question features the more extensive difficulties of overseeing property and assets inside a plural marriage, particularly one as broken as the Tans. With Kody's associations with Christine and Janelle additionally crumbling, the issue of property division might turn out to be significantly more argumentative as the family keeps on fragmenting. For Meri, this might be one more push toward complete autonomy from the family. Her choice to zero in on self-awareness and new pursuits like her quaint little in and online undertakings recommends she's prepared to continue on, regardless of whether Kody and the family keep on minimizing her. As the show unfurls, fans are left contemplating whether the earthy-colored family will at any point track down a goal, or on the other hand in the event that this is one more move toward the demise this time including Meri earthy-colored's closest companion, Jen Sullivan. Known for her nearby bond with Meri and their joint webcast, Fridays with Companions, Jen has arisen as an unfaltering ally of Meri through her high points and low points. As of late, Jen tended to a public diss from Kody Brown, starting a rush of fan responses. Kody's scrutinize of Meri and Jen. Kody Brown has made it clear in late episodes and meetings that he doesn't completely uphold Meri's choices or individuals in her inward circle. During a discussion about relational peculiarities, Kody purportedly excused Meri's emotionally supportive network, referring to it as a protected, closed-off environment that energizes her ridiculous assumptions. While he didn't make reference to Jen by name, fans rushed to draw an obvious conclusion, expecting Kody was alluding to Meri's best bud. As indicated by Kody, Meri encircles herself with individuals who urge her to zero in on her own life as opposed to fixing her cracked relationship with the family. He suggested that this dynamic adds to the continuous distance among Meri and the other earthy colors. Jen's reaction. Jen didn't avoid tending to the unpretentious poke. In a new Fridays with Companions livestream, she answered with her trademark mind and effortlessness. "I don't require approval from anybody who doesn't have any acquaintance with me. I want to elevate Meri, not destroy anybody. Assuming that is an issue for certain individuals, perhaps now is the right time to search in the mirror." She said. Meri merits individuals in her corner who put stock in her, and I'm glad to be one of them. In the event that that is viewed as an carefully protected area, so be it. Haven't arrived to apologize for being a strong companion. Jen's remarks were met with adulation from fans who applauded her for confronting Kody and protecting her companionship with Meri. Meri and Jen's bond. Meri and Jen's kinship has turned into a brilliant spot for fanatics of the show who respect their veritable fellowship. Their web recording, which highlights carefree discussions, strengthening messages, and in the background looks into Meri's life, has provided watchers with another point of view on the principal spouse of the earthy-colored family. Many fans accept that Jen has been a wellspring of solidarity for Meri, especially as she explores her convoluted relationship with Kody and the remainder of the family. Jen's straightforward disposition and faithful help have procured her a reliable following among sister spouses watchers. Fan responses to Kody's diss. The fan reaction to Kody's investigate has been incredibly incredulous of the sister spouse's patriarch. Many accept that his remarks mirror his reluctance to acknowledge responsibility for his part in the family's broken connections. One fan composed, "Kody has no issue faulting every other person for the family's issues. Perhaps he ought to be appreciative Meri has somebody like Jen in her corner." One more remarked, "Jen is a genuine companion. Kody could become familiar with some things about dependability and backing from her." Others made a move to bring up the incongruity in Kody condemning Meri's connections when his own associations with his spouses are under a magnifying glass. The master plan. Jen's reaction to Kody's diss highlights the moving elements inside the earthy-colored family. As Meri keeps on cutting out another section for herself, her companionship with Jen represents her developing freedom and eagerness to focus on her own joy. For Kody, the reaction from fans fills in at this point one more sign of how his words and activities are being examined like never before. His battles to keep up with command over the story, and the family, are turning out to be progressively clear. Eventually, Jen's resolute help for Meri features the significance of having areas of strength for a framework, particularly notwithstanding difficulty. Whether Kody supports, obviously Meri values her companionship with Jen still up in the air to embrace her own way, no matter what the assessments of others. As the sister spouse's adventure proceeds, fans are passed on to consider how these moving unions and stewing pressures will shape the eventual fate of the family and the show.